our first Final Fantasy with voice acting in it, Final Fantasy X. And if I remember correctly, Ernest, your favorite Final Fantasy of all time is 6.
Right.
Your favorite villain is Kefka. That's your favorite villain of any creative work is Kefka.
Anything.
Yeah.
Period.
But then you also really like 10. Would you say that's your second favorite Final Fantasy?
Yeah, that's a hard one, right? Because there were so many other good ones, like 4 in Japan 2 here was an excellent game as well. 7 was really good. I enjoyed 10 more than 7, but 10 is probably my second favorite, but I don't think that's purely on like the merits of the game. I think it's more of like where it landed at its point in time for what gaming was at that point in time and what they delivered on the PS2.
Yeah. So then what about the voice acting?
So 10, I obviously love the voice acting.
What are you looking at?
We were just worried you guys might have gone crazy.
I think it was pretty solid across the board. For its era, I realize it's not going to compare to a modern game that has the bigger budget and all this kind of stuff.
And whose fault is that?
Not mine. It is mine, huh?
So some notes I pointed out. Titus, our favorite character, overall sounded great. Definitely had changes in intonation during his speech. So like he wasn't like monotone.
You guys are smiling now, but not for long.
He had a different way of speaking to his fans than he did to everyone else, which I thought was really cool. Because he had all these fans from playing Blitzball, the way he talked to his other friends and his party members was completely different than how he spoke to his fans, right? Like he knew that they loved him, and so he projected like this excitement and love for them.
If I score a goal, I'll do this. That will mean it was for you, okay?
But then when he would turn around and talk to like his own party members and friends, it was like just like a normal conversation. Like he wasn't carrying that same attitude.
You don't look so good. What happened?
You beat me up, remember?
Auron, loved him too. Super reserved and flat. Again, a lot like Ardyn, Ultima, similar vein. Very monotone, very flat, but like very assured of himself.
You'll see for yourself. Come with me.
Kimahri, right? This was the best in the whole game.
Kimahri?
Because he didn't actually say a single word.
Then I must prove my strength.
I have a Kimahri I have all the figurines, but Kimahri's one of the ones that's actually out of the box.
Lulu, she was okay, but it seemed like they were trying really hard to make her voice happen and that it wasn't within like the normal pitch of that voice actor.
Like trying to talk too low?
Yeah, like trying to reach that pitch that really wasn't native to her normal voice.
Okay.
And so like it just...
I wouldn't put it past the directors back then, so...
Oh no, not at all.
That's it. No more. Enough, Waka.
Waka, loved him too. Just the typical surfer dude, like from Hawaii, right? Like they nailed it, just like a little bit too on the nose, but it was okay.
I'm Waka, coach and captain of the Besaid Aurochs, brother.
Riku, I enjoyed from like the perspective of, if you think about like the typical American view of what kawaii would be in Japanese stuff, that's what she portrayed. So she did a pretty good job of it. Like, was her performance worthy of an award or something? No, right? It's not that, but you're also talking about a different era, right?
She didn't seem too bad. Yeah.
She wasn't too bad.
There's something I want to tell you, but promise not to say anything. No glaring either.
That's kind of my rundown for 10. So again, for its era, I really enjoyed the voice acting. I think the thing with 10 for me is the story was just...
You just love the story.
It was similar in some ways to 16. There were definitely some like parallels there. But I think the difference is the ending, like that flipping of the script on you in 10 was something that people will never forget.
Or forgive.
Or forgive in some cases. But
yeah, you can anticipate how I might feel about the ending, right?
Oh, man.
I was actually totally on board with the whole story, and then the ending, I was like, no. What? First of all, I was super confused because I was also younger, didn't get what was going on at the end. I was like, wait a minute, what? Second of all, no, bad. Once I figured out what was happening.
This is bad. Really bad.
Anyway, we're not talking about the end of 10 for now, but...
That's actually why I enjoyed it.
I know. You like all the bad endings just like you like all the bad movies. Like, what is wrong with you?
But the thing that was funny about 10 that I'll call out was that when I was going back to kind of re-listen to the cutscenes, I fell down this YouTube rabbit hole of watching younger people than us.
Oh, play the game?
Playing it for the first time.
And what do they think?
And watching the endings.
They probably think it sucks.
I don't want to ruin it for you. You should go watch it. Like, I fell down the rabbit hole watching this because I remember when I got to the ending the first time, I was obviously blown away, and I love the game. It's one of my favorites. But watching these younger people, so I'm saying like people in their 20s, because remember, this game is over 20 years old.
2001.
Right. So these are people who are either born around when the game came out or after.
Okay.
Right. They're now in their 20s and they're playing this for the first time, just watching the endings, right? So these are usually streamers that are doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. Like, these people are just being utterly destroyed by this ending. Like, I mean, crying, bawling. I'm talking emotionally broken by getting to the ending of this thing all across the board. Men, women, didn't matter. And like, every single comment in these threads is from people my age saying, I'm literally tearing up watching you experience this for the first time because I remember what it was like when I played it back in 2001. I'm glad that a new generation is experiencing it for the first time again. Just all over the comments for all these videos.
Interesting.
Like, that is how impactful of a game 10 is.
It was definitely impactful. I will give you that.
Right.
I was sad at the ending, but then I was just really pissed off. Like, I was not happy at all.
It's heavy.
So I won't give them that credit that many people will say that it's like, oh, it is heavy. But again, when you set up never mind. I'm not even going to go into it. I'll tell you what I think about the voice acting.
The voice acting was superb.
So
yeah.
When it comes to Final Fantasy X, because it was back in 2001, and it was the first voice-acted Final Fantasy, at least in the main game of the series that I could find to add voice acting, right? And I remember, like you were saying, I just loved this game. I played the sequel, X2 or 10-2 or whatever, where...
Oh, the one where you dress them up?
Yuna becomes a pop star, and it's so stupid.
I couldn't bring myself to tell them it was just an imposter.
I did not play that.
So stupid.
I will admit, I own it. I didn't play it.
Yeah, so I actually played it, beat it, had a really good time. I remember really enjoying the game, even though I thought the story was ridiculous.
I wonder what this awesome sphere is like.
Well, it's definitely awesome.
It will be, won't it?
So I was a big fan of 10. I was a big fan. And at the time, I was pretty young and I hadn't given a real thought to voice acting. I didn't know a ton about how good or how bad it was. I didn't even care, right? Who cares? I don't think most people cared about the voice acting back then. And it's probably a good thing because I'm going to be honest with you. If you go back and you watch the cutscenes, the voice acting is pretty terrible.
Nothing but a bunch of low-down tricksters, eh?
Yeah!
I liked it.
If you compare it to today's standard as a craft.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, in comparison, there's no comparison.
But it's more hilarious.
At that point in time, for what they had, I liked it.
It worked.
No, that's ridiculous! No way! I don't believe you!
But it is the truth. You'll see for yourself. Come with me.
If I say no,
Every story must have an ending.
I don't care about your stories!
It worked for that point in time. It's actually kind of I think it was one of the first big franchise games to really have that much voice acting in it. If I remember right, it was novel for at least us. And I do have to say though, even though if you look back and it doesn't hold up in terms of like skill level for voice acting, in my opinion, right?
Well, it's nothing really. I just,
I have to also say the caveat of I guarantee that the process of recording English dubbing was not conducive to being able to give a good acting performance back then. I mean, they probably literally put the actor in a small glass room with a microphone, with a script of lines. Probably, I don't even know if the lines had context behind them. They literally could have just been lines. So they wouldn't even know what they were trying to say. And they probably, as the actor, they probably just went through each line mechanically with some intern probably telling them how fast or how slow to say each line rather than, letting them get into character or placing themselves psychologically within a scene, let alone being able to listen and react to another actor. There's no way they had any of these luxuries, right? And to me, the result is hilarious. And Titus, or Titus, however you want to say his name, he's so Sonic the Hedgehog or Ninja Turtle to me.
And this qualifies as just fine? Dressing up like it's Halloween every night? Risking the safety of our family? I mean, come on, what were you thinking?
But that really works for his character. And I do love that they made him like an optimist, whereas all the male characters in Final Fantasy, the leads, are such emo, like grumpy gooses.
We can all fly there. Everyone can go. Then we'll have a big party at my place.
And he was like an optimist. Of course, they still kill him off in the end, but whatever. Spoiler alert.
Well, they didn't kill him off, but that's a different.
To me,
that's a different.
He doesn't end up with Yuna, which is what you want the whole game, and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go there because we know how long I can talk about endings I don't like, right? And then when it comes to like Waka, Riku, Yuna, Lulu, all of them, they were all endearing enough looking back, right? As long as you don't judge the voice acting by today's standards, because it really wouldn't be fair to judge the acting.
Yeah, it's not.
By today's standards, unless you're in the mood for a laugh. Because, I mean, honestly, if the actors in Final Fantasy X were really super talented, which a lot of them probably are, I'm not sure we'd ever be able to even know it. Just by the way this game was made, by the process, right? And then the guy who plays Titus, I think his name is, I looked it up, James Arnold Taylor. Oh man, his resume since doing that role is massive. It's massive. Tons of video games and cartoons. I mean, this role really launched his career, and I'm sure that his voice performances are more representative of his talents today in his more recent work.
I thought so too, my lord. But when your people are facing the likelihood of being cannon fodder, what you think you know comes into question.
But it did enough for him to really kickstart his acting career. And I mean, this is totally unfair, but if you take a scene from 10 and you play it next to a scene from 16, it's clear that we've come quite a long way.
Your bloodline runs through the Oriflamme gutter, from a whore who weighed her child's worth in Gil.
Have you threatened my father?
Of course not. I merely whispered in his ear.
What's with that guy?
Kimari Ronso, of the Ronso tribe. He's learned the Fiend's way of fighting.
That's not what I meant.
He's another of Yuna's guardians.
Huh?
Sometimes we don't understand him either.
But you also got to contend with the fact that like the technology I'm not talking about like the in-studio technology, the technology to transpose that onto a DVD that had to fit on a disc in a PlayStation 2, right? Like it's just a different world entirely.
Lots of constraints.
But yeah, when we cover that one and we talk about the ending, you and I will have an interesting conversation for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it again, actually. It's been so long.
I think this is one of those that like you can only experience it for the first time.
Once.
The first time.
Yeah.
Going back and playing it again, yes, I'm going to love it. I know that. But like I already know the ending.
Right.
It's not going to be like the complete shell shock it was playing it back in 2001.
Thank goodness. Maybe I'll enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Well, that's Final Fantasy X, right? It had a big impact.